Thanks, Michael, and thanks, Mayflower. All right, our presenter today is Bob Paconovsky. Can you name any other speaker who would show up today with not one, but two black tuxedos? That is how passionate Bob Paconovsky is about creating a black tie experience. You may not remember his last name, but you will hopefully remember the guy in the black tie and tux. What do 25 National Pro Football Hall of Fame induction parties, training for a large support business for the 2016 Republican National Convention, and creating over 7,000 meetings and events have in common? All of them received the black tie experience courtesy of our speaker. An entrepreneur for over 20 years, primarily in the hospitality industry, Bob and his team had only one opportunity to create both a wow experience and a lasting impression for their clients. Bob has achieved professional member status of the National Speakers Association and has spoken to companies and conferences on the national, state, and regional level. However, he is most proud of being married to his wife, Connie, for 27 years, and his son, Adam. Please welcome Bob Paconovsky.
Thank you, Matt. Good morning, everybody. How does a small Midwestern college with a total student enrollment of only 700 have such loyal alumni that they sell out trips throughout the U.S. every year? How does a bank in the heartland of our country have more travelers for their trips than some large cities? How does a Chamber of Commerce in our beautiful Mountain West region, who can only offer trips during non-tourism season, have close to an 80% return rate of repeat customers? And how does a small company in Akron, Ohio, an event and catering company, be able to compete and out-compete the big boys when it comes to working and creating 25 Pro Football Hall of Fame national induction parties? I believe it's based on the value of loyalty. See, each one of these organizations understands how important it is to deliver the customer experience. And here's the key phrase, ladies and gentlemen: on a consistent basis, time and time again, to not only create loyalty, but also to create this return on investment. Maybe it's twofold, 10-fold, 20-fold. We don't know what it is, but we know that it's there. So how do you build loyalty? See, folks, you're in a great job, and I'm sure your friends tell you that all the time. You get to travel everywhere. Man, you go across the world or across the country. I want your job. I know you want to give it to them too sometimes, don't you? Because they don't see the stress and the pressure that you have. But I do. See, I was kind of in your shoes. You just heard 7,000 meetings, events, receptions. Folks, you're an event planner. It's your job to create this experience, this event that'll create goodwill, priceless loyalty. So you have customers, but also think about it. You're a customer because you have vendors. You have tour operators. Those of you that are booking trips in the banks, alumni, chambers, okay? You have hotels, buses, whatever it is. Does everybody understand how much you are, or how much pressure you have on you? See, folks, not only are you this event planner, you're this general contractor, you're this conductor, right? You're putting together this beautiful symphony. You are making sure that all the pieces, parts come together. So why? So at the end, you can get that standing ovation. You get those high fives. You can get whatever. But also, keep aware that some of your customers are going to come to you when the bad things happen. See, they're not going to go to the tour bus and say, hey, what's the problem? Hey, Bob, the tour bus, this would happen. So for me, they wouldn't go to the AV company. By the way, this is a fantastic AV company. But they won't go to the AV company and say, hey, you guys screwed up. It's me. So I had the opportunity to talk to some of you leading up to this conference because I wanted to figure out what was it about you that made you work so hard. And so I asked a lot of questions. And one of the questions I asked was, how do you build loyalty? And here are some of the answers that I got. And I love these. These are answers from you in the audience. And what's great about it is these were the same type of things that I trained my staffs on. How to build that value of loyalty, which is so crucial today. Because, see, for my company, we were just good at customer service there to start out with. That's all we were good at. But I knew that if I wanted to go from customer service to customer experience, something had to happen. I needed to find something. So I found the missing link. And ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to share with you today is the secret weapon and how you can take your customers from just customer service to customer experience and loyal. Now, it's something that we all do every day, but I'm going to challenge you to make sure that you continue to do it on a consistent basis. What is it? It's simply the power of hospitality. Now, I know you're in the hospitality business. I don't mean that. I mean the power of hospitality, because there's a definition, one of the best ones I found. It's that art, and that's the key word. That's that art of making a personal connection with someone else. You're in the people business, I believe, first and foremost. This is one of the most wonderful hotels that I've been in. Joe and his team do a fantastic job. But I don't think Joe's in the hotel business. I believe they're in the people business first and foremost, which they happen to be doing hotel stuff. What business are you in? I don't think you're in the travel business first and foremost. I believe you're in the people business. If you have people working with you, do they know that you're in the people business first and foremost? That's the power of hospitality. See, folks, we all know what customer service is, right? Customer service are the tasks that we perform. It's a transactional type of experience. Nothing wrong with customer service. In fact, we need it. This has to be done first to have the building basics to go forward. And you can deliver an absolutely perfect customer service time frame, but something could be missing. And what's missing is that power of hospitality. Because hospitality is how we make our customers feel when we perform these tasks. It's personalizing that experience. You all have a passion for travel. So do you have a passion for your customers? And I think you do, and I know you do. But how do you show it? It's that one-on-one interaction. It's going above and beyond to make sure that every detail's covered, that you're truly listening to them. That's what creates the hospitality experience. See, I think, folks, anybody can get a customer today. I firmly believe it. In fact, how many of you, if you would offer a 7-day all-inclusive trip to Hawaii for your members for $100, how many customers could you get? You would sell out, and you couldn't even market it. Here's my point. We can get a customer. The question is, can we hold on to them? So how many customers are you holding on to build that value of loyalty? Because I think, ladies and gentlemen, there's only two types of customers. Now, you read all the manuals, and there's detractors, and there's evangelists, and blah, blah, blah. Great. But I think there's only two types, personally. The first one is what I call these guys. They're your average Joes, okay? These are what are called maybe your satisfied customers. Now, you could have a lot of average Joes, and you could have, and you could give them that service, but something's missing. See, your average Joes use the F word a lot. No, not that F word. In fact, we say it all the time. How was your meal? It was fine. It's okay. How was your trip? Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, it was good. There's nothing special about it. Yeah, we saw some really cool places. They didn't really do anything special for us. They gave us the trip and the food, and yeah, it was fine. You're gonna go back? I don't know. Maybe. Folks, we gotta move away from that to this. The brand ambassador, that's where we have to go. Because here's my definition of a brand ambassador. Someone who can't wait to tell the story of how you make them feel. So, you should have seen this trip that I was on. Oh my goodness. And here's what they did. And so Susan, so she did this. And it was all the little details. And she made me feel so special. My husband and I, it was great. I mean, all the things that she did and all the things they did. Boy, that university really knows. Boy, that bank really knows. Boy, that chamber really knows. Folks, we need as many brand ambassadors as possible. Because when we have brand ambassadors, they tell stories. See, I think, we buy features and benefits, but I think we buy stories more than anything else. We can't wait to hear, because then our friends will say, oh, you love that trip. Oh yeah, and let me tell you the story of how they made me feel. That's a brand ambassador. How many of those do you have in your business right now? And how many can you move from average Joe to brand ambassador? So, I have my 8 principles of black tie hospitality. Now, these are principles that, as I interviewed some of you, you were giving me these ideas, which was so great because these are some of the ideas, all the ideas that I have shared with my staff. And here's the key, is it all focuses on the power of hospitality. Because I know you have a daily grind. Some of you, booking travel is your part-time job because you're working in your bank, you're working in your alumni department, you're working running your chamber, and I got to do travel too? Dang. But you love it. That's why you're doing it. So there's a daily grind. And you have difficult customers, and you have challenges. We all do. And I don't mean to sound like this, but your customers that are booking this once-in-a-lifetime trip, they don't care. They want this wonderful trip and they want you to be that person. Now, as you listen to these, because I think you have a two-sided coin here. See, those of you that are in the banks, universities, chambers, you have customers, without a doubt. But yet you're also a customer of the tour bus group, the travel operated, whoever. So as you listen to these, are these principles that you are giving to your customers every single day? And are you getting these principles from your vendors? So why the number 8? Well, if you take away the number 8 and turn it on its side, it's a symbol for infinity. These, I believe, are 8 principles that we should be doing every single day without fail. So, number 1. It's about being present. Now, here's what I mean by this. When you are truly being present with your customers, you are anticipating their needs. This, folks, is a wonderful device. This, however, doesn't make us truly present. It's like we're the dog in the movie Up. Squirrel. What? Somebody likes my post. Oh, I'm buzzing like you can't believe. I have to focus all my attention. No, you have a customer right in front of you. So are you truly present? Are you anticipating their needs? Because you should know more about their travel needs than they do. Because when you anticipate their needs, you are asking or you are answering the questions that they may have wanted to ask you, but they didn't want to bother you. You are finding out and giving them answers to the questions that they haven't even thought of yet. How do you do this? Well, you read their body language. You start to really get present and listening to them. So I used to tell my staff this, is folks, when a customer comes up to us, pretend like you're 4 years old in Safety Town. Because we were taught this technique when we were in Safety Town. So a customer comes to you, stop what you're doing, and pay all that attention to them. Look at them in the eye, lean in, and then listen. Stop, look, and listen. And then you can anticipate your customer's needs. See, because when you have that, you have what's called the vision. See, the vision means that you're already thinking one step ahead of your customers. Now, the screen's pretty cool because it's a magic screen. I think there's some other tiles somewhere up here. Here's another word for vision. Let's see if I can do this. See, folks, you need to be proactive when you're working with your customers. Because when you do that, it's all about them. You're making it all about them. You're truly present, and you want their thoughts and ideas to come to fruition. The opposite of that is being reactive. I am so sorry that the bus didn't come here on time. I'm so sorry that your hotel room was wrong. I knew that 3 days ago, but I didn't bother telling you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Folks, stop apologizing. Become proactive rather than reactive. In fact, I can change your mindset by just changing one letter in this word. Watch. I'm a trained professional. Please don't try that at home. Ladies and gentlemen, I would rather have you be creative, because when you're creative, you're innovative. You're thinking outside the box. You are having all these ideas because you're making it all about your customers. Here's the last thing that I want to do with each of these principles, because I want you to take away an action step. So here's my action step for this one. When the next meeting you're at with your customers, you have this pad of notebook paper, and you're going to ask their permission, but you're going to write down all their notes, all their ideas, all the things that are important to them, because when you do that, you make it all about them. You are truly being respectful and caring because you're being truly present with your customers. Here's number 2, listening. See, ladies and gentlemen, I think we hear really well. We just don't listen. In fact, studies have shown that people think that they listen 80% of the time, but yet we only listen 25% because we're already formulating the answers in our mind of what to say. So we have to stop that and truly focus on them. Now, I know most of your demographics for your trips are your baby boomers. 60, 65, 70, got some 50-year-olds in there. I know you're working on different generations. But this generation of the baby boomers loves to do one thing. Love the phone. They love it. This is nice, but they want that personal interaction. So the power of listening states, can you call them? Now, I know you do, but after the trip, hey, Jim, thank you so much for being a loyal customer. I have 5 minutes. I need to ask you 3 questions on what your experience was with the trip, what we did well, and what we can improve upon. And they'll tell you, but here's the kicker. Here's what most people stop at. They don't go this far because this is the extra step. They say, Jim, by the way, what are your ideas on how to make our trips better? Now, Jim's going to tell you. And you may implement them, you may not. But if you do, call Jim and say, hey, Jim, I just want to let you know, before the next trip, we took your idea and we're running with it. Thank you so much. You want to build loyalty, ladies and gentlemen? What's that feeling of your customer? Like, wow, they actually listened to me. This is incredible. So my action step is call 3 of your customers and ask them the 3 questions and then the 1 extra. What ideas do you have? Because then they'll give you their feedback all the time. Here's number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we think we do this enough, but we don't. The power of gratitude and the power of thankfulness and appreciation is so very big today. And I know you thank your customers when they put down the deposit. Thank you. And you thank them during the trip and you thank them after the trip. All very good. But what else can you do? What are those little details that are going to create the wow factor? Now, I don't want to offend anybody here, but I have to say this. The power of appreciation does not mean, and you can do this, but it can't mean all the time, folks, I don't want your swag. I have enough chip clip holders and pens. I love your logos, but I don't need those. What I want is what's something personal that you can do that's going to build loyalty. So, how many of you know the anniversary dates of when your clients started traveling with you? Show of hands. How many people know the anniversary dates? That's okay, because this is a great, wonderful. Thank you very much. What do you do? You stole my thunder, but I love that she sends her a card. So here's what I want you to do. Here's the going above and beyond. Jim and Susan, you know, it's been 3 years since you started traveling with us. Thank you so much for being a part of our family. By the way, here's this bottle of wine that you wanted when we were in Napa. It's our way of saying thank you for being a part of our family. Oh, it's a $30 bottle of wine. They just booked a $4,000 trip with you on top of the next 3 years they're booking $10,000 more. You can afford a $30 bottle of wine. It works. Here's one of the top customer experience companies in the world. See, here's the thing. Your clients don't remember when their travel anniversary dates are, but you do. So Zappos, I get this email from Zappos and a thank you card. Bob, do you know it's been 1 year since you've been a client with us? Thank you so much for being a part of our Zappos family. And then I got that. And you see the button that says shop now. Guess what I did? I shopped. Nice offer too, by the way, because I was a loyal customer and I bought something. They're not dumb. So my action step is this. Send that anniversary card with that note of appreciation or that little gift. And then tell me what happens next, because I want to know, because I guarantee you, you will blow them away. Because no one else does this except this wonderful lady right here. Here's number 4. It's creating this culture of welcome, this foundation of hospitality. What does culture have to do with loyalty? Absolutely everything, because the culture is your foundation of your organization. Without a strong culture, you're building, or without a strong foundation, your building crumbles. Same with your culture. So you start seeing cracks show up. Now for me, I had vendors, you know, and so some of vendors would say that I was picky. I prefer to be called detailed. But these guys didn't mesh with our culture. Their values didn't line up. So what are your values? And do your customers who travel with you know your values? Because they want to know your values. They want to buy into your values. So we have to get those away. So that means if you have vendors that don't line up, find new vendors. So my action step for you is simply this. Write out 3 of your core values that are non-negotiable for you. And then start looking at what your vendors look like. And do their values line up with yours to create that power of hospitality? Number 5. It's all about knowledge. See, folks, I think knowledge is key when it comes to building loyalty. You are the experts in your travel field, and your customers want to know that you're the expert. So conferences like this are great because you're learning new cruises. And Mike, thank you for all the stuff you're doing and all the new trends. But here's what I want you to do with travel, is I want you to give your loyal customers knowledge when it doesn't benefit you. Case in point, you get a phone call. Hey, Bob, you know what? My wife and I couldn't make that trip last year to New York City, but I want to surprise her. Can you give me some ideas on where to go? Some great restaurants? You know, Don, I'm sorry, I am so busy right now. I can't talk to you. Give me about a week. Bob, I'm leaving in 2 days. Yeah, sorry, I can't help you. I would help you. Folks, you have this database. You have this little black book of knowledge. Use it, because that then breeds confidence in your customers, because now they're confident that they know that you have all the knowledge. Now there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Nobody likes to deal with an arrogant travel planner. Doesn't work. They love working with people who are confident. Confidence builds loyalty because now they trust you. Number 6 is trust. How many first-time attendees do we have in the room? Can you raise your hands? Wow, awesome. Now I know, because I've been in your shoes, it can be somewhat intimidating to come to this, or to come to any conference as a first-time attendee, because you don't know anybody. But I'll tell you, this team at Group Travel Family, phenomenal at making you feel comfortable. Would you agree? I love it. Yes, phenomenal. But no offense, because these people that are first-time attendees, you don't trust anybody right now. I don't know who these people are. They want me to do business with them? That's why this is so very important. I mean, you only have 6 minutes, but make those 6 minutes count to start building trust. Because we do business with people we what? Like, trust, and respect. You may like someone, but if you don't trust them, not working. Now, trust is a two-way street, because when you don't start returning emails in time, when your vendors aren't responsive, when you aren't responsive, when there's all kind of mix-ups, that trust fades away. And then they become brand ambassadors, moving down to, fine, see you later. Here's the key about trust. This is a slide from a company called the Trust Outlook in Minnesota. This is how important trust is. Because they say that when trust increases, here are the things that go up. And I've talked about three of them: retention, loyalty, and revenue. Because the lack of trust, they say, is the largest single business expense we have today in corporate America. How well do your customers trust you? How well do you trust your vendors? You need to really establish this bond of trust so that they understand how important it is to build loyalty. Number 7, it's about importance. And here's what I mean by this. It's the importance in the little details. See, I think the little details make the big things happen on a more consistent basis. Folks, you got the big things down pat, by and large. I mean, you have these beautiful trips and 9-day itinerary and 4-day weekend and blah, blah, blah. And so you got the big stuff down pat. But it's the little details that could make or break the trip. Now, I know that stuff happens to the big things. Flight delays, no AC in the bus, power outages. For us, it was weather. I told my customers, I can control everything about your event except one thing, the weather. But I trained my staff on making sure that they knew the importance of the little details, so that when the weather happened, they were well trained to focus on those little details to make sure that all of our customers were taken care of. See, folks, you need to know what those little details that are important to your customers, because they have to be important to you. How many of you know your customer's favorite snack, favorite beverage, how many grandkids they have? See, folks, I think that's crucial if you want to build loyalty. Case in point, I was a keynote speaker for a conference in my hometown of Cleveland. I live in Akron, 40 minutes away. So I got this in an email from the chamber there. It's a survey of all my favorite things, and I knew what they were doing. So I filled it out, but then I forgot about it. 3 weeks later, I walk into my hotel room. There's this beautiful bag, and inside of it is stuff that I checked off. That they did, including t-shirts. They asked, you can't see it. Well, it's spouse's name and t-shirt size. I open it up. Bob, make sure you give this t-shirt to Connie. Please come back. The two of you come back to Cleveland. And it was the right size. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my action step. Start figuring out what the favorites are of your loyal customers. And next time they show up in a hotel room on your trip, you have that Diet Coke, not Diet Pepsi, or vice versa. You have that bag of Cheetos, whatever it is. That's the importance in the little details. Before I close, speaking of value, I'm all about value today, because I want to give you as much value as possible. So I have 2 things for you. Number 1 is I have a free article titled The Seinfeld Effect. Taking versus holding. And there's my email address on the bottom there. Type in the subject, in the subject line, type in the code loyalty. And I'll send you this article. I won't spam you. It's just my way to say thank you for coming here to listen to me. But I have a second opportunity for you, because on the time that I have with you, you still may have some questions for me. And so on your chair, on your table, is one of my cards, and it talks about my seminars that I do, and at the bottom is a little perforated edge that you can fill out if you want more information. But here's what I'd like to do for you, is I'd like to offer everybody a complimentary 20 to 30 minute phone call with me after the conference. Just type it, or just write in the words free 20 on that card and hand it to me, or leave it at your chair or table after the seminar here, and I'll make sure to collect them, and I'll schedule this call with you. It's what I want to do, absolutely complimentary for you. Number 8 is easy. And here's what I mean. Do you have that POM feeling for your customers, that peace of mind feeling? Because when you make it easy, you take all the stress and all the carefree away from them. We used to tell our clients this. Folks, it's our job to take care of all the details for your event. It's your job to enjoy the day. That's make it easy, because when you make it easy, you make it memorable. And that's when the stories come out. And according to Temkin research, you know that if your customers have a great experience with you, they are 5 times more likely to refer their friends to you. Return on investment, value of loyalty. So, I've given you these 8 principles. And each of the first letters of the 8 words stands for something. But I want you to create as many brand ambassadors as possible by creating your own black tie experience. Look at the letters. They equal black tie. Because black tie is being present, listening, having that knowledge, showing appreciation, going above and beyond, having that trust factor. Because when that happens, your clients become more engaged. They become more excited. And that return on investment is absolutely enormous. Speaking of that, those 25 Pro Football Hall of Fame parties cost me $1,000 to do. The return on investment was $250,000. Simply because we created the value of loyalty with our customers. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's truly about creating the hospitality experience, that art of making that personal connection with someone else. And I want to leave you with this quote. It's by a famous woman, and I love how she says this, and I close all of my seminars with this because I think it's that powerful. See, ladies and gentlemen, people may forget what you say to them. They may even forget what you do for them, but they're never, ever going to forget how you make them feel. How will you make them feel? By building loyalty to create the black tie experience. Thank you.
To be a leader requires one thing and one thing only: followers. That's it. It has nothing to do with rank or title. It has to do with whether others are going to choose, that they volunteer, raise their hands and volunteer to go in the direction that you set. We can force people to do things. We can whip them into shape or offer them all kinds of carrots and sticks to get them to do things. But at the end of the day, a true leader is the one where others raise their hand and say, I will follow you. The question is, why should anyone follow you?